Welcome back, folks. This is Swap, and today we're going to be finishing off Eden's Zero Volume 9. We left off with Weiss and Laguna facing off each other. We're about to see what's going to happen next. So, without further ado, let's begin. Chapter 74, Weiss versus Laguna. Here we got Homura sitting down on this little couch. She's got a regular outfit on, the kimono, the thigh highs. She's got a nice smile going on. I really dig this cover. Okay, back in the action. We got Weiss suited up as Arsenal, and we got Laguna here using the element of water. And Arsenal is about to go ham on Laguna. He starts firing bullets. He starts using flamethrowers, but apparently Laguna's much stronger than we can give him credit for. He's only using these water powers, but these water powers are just enough, or maybe even stronger than Weiss's weaponry. Pretty much every attack that Arsenal's throwing at him, Laguna has an answer for. They even go into what I call hand-to-hand combat, or some sort of hand-to-hand combat, and even then it's not a full-on fight for Arsenal. Arsenal's kind of struggling here, and it gets to the point where Laguna is shooting all these different water shots over at Arsenal, destroying the armor piece by piece, and it's not until Hermit kind of jumps into the fray via communication through Arsenal's suit. She's telling Weiss, this is the only way that you have to defeat him. You have to use your cooling system in order to turn the water into ice. That's how you can defeat him, and that's what we get. We got Weiss using his ether gear ability to reconfigure the cooling system into his arm so that he can use that as an offensive weapon and turn the water into ice and land a huge solid hit onto Laguna, defeating him with one solid punch straight to the chin. And unfortunately, there is just no time to celebrate. The moment Weiss claims victory, he gets shot in the back through his abdomen, and it turns out that it is another element person. It is the flame sniper Fie or Fie. I'll have to look it up how to pronounce that name later, but regardless, this person shoots Weiss from afar. So now we have Weiss, and his helpless body is kind of just sitting there bleeding out while his friends have finally regained consciousness back into their original forms, and we're going to see what happens in the next chapter. Chapter 75, A Wind Blows Through the Sakura Cosmos. We got Witch here in her little witch outfit. She's doing her witch things. You know, she's mixing up some things in the cauldron. She's probably mixing up some of those herbs that are on the tree. Maybe even some of those liquids that she's got there on the back shelf. You know, not too much going on, you know what I'm saying? So we got the fire sniper with his scope set on all the members here, and we actually learned that Pino is the one who's actually able to locate where this sniper is coming from. And the one person who's going to use this information to his advantage is Shiki. Shiki walks up there, he goes and follows where Pino's pointing at, and he challenges the sniper. He puts his hand out there, and he's waiting for this shot to come. And this sniper is pissed off. He wants to shoot this thing so he can just kill Shiki in one shot. But what he doesn't know is that Shiki has gravity powers. And I kind of saw this coming when Shiki was standing there. He makes this huge ball of gravity within his fist, and as soon as that bullet enters that field of gravity, the gravity is so strong that it makes the bullet pretty much go slower and slower up until a point where it stops completely, and Shiki uses that momentum and just shoots it right back at the sniper, almost getting a headshot on him. And fortunately, this caused enough of a distraction for Seabird to actually come in and save the day, make a smoke screen so that everybody can get out safely. Alright, coming back to the Eden Zero, Rebecca is on a hurry. She wants to bring over this medicine. It's called Sister Energy. It looks like an energy drink. I don't know what's in this thing, but supposedly if you drink it, it heals you. So Rebecca's trying to get this thing over to Weiss as fast as possible before he bleeds out and dies, basically. So Rebecca goes inside this small little compact spaceship, and she goes off to the fortress. Unfortunately, there is another thing that's in her way. There's this other flying ship that is coming in her way, and it is Sylph, the element of wind, ready to take Rebecca down. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that next. Chapter 76, Rebecca versus Sylph. And here we have Sister. And you know, this is all just pure good Sister. This is basically her personality. She's just sitting there with her legs spread out. She's got just her underwear on. She's got some guns in her hands. She's just having a blast in her room. Okay, so now Rebecca has to get through Sylph, but Sylph is not making it easy. She is sending all these crazy amount of drones coming to attack Rebecca, but Rebecca does have an ace up her sleeve. We know that Rebecca is an avid gamer. It's one of the reasons why she's such a good shot with her happy guns, and it's also a good reason why she's such a good shot here with this spaceship and the little weapons that are on it. And she makes pretty quick work of these drones. Now I will say, whoever designed this ship, I don't know who designed it, but God bless them for designing this ship. You get some nice shots here, Rebecca. But regardless, we do get another important point, even though it's part of this shot too. And it's something that kind of caught me off guard that I didn't really think about. And it is Rebecca using her ether gear ability within this ship. Somehow, someway, Rebecca's able to use her ether gear ability while touching something else. So in this case, she's making contact with the spaceship, and the spaceship is able to use her leaper ability and be able to leap at a very quick distance, which catches everybody off guard, not just Sylph, but the crew of the Eden Zero as well. And we get this important dialogue here between Witch and Hermit. And so as they're observing Rebecca, they kind of realize that this kind of came natural to her. And what they say is that she has the makings of an Etherion master. So again, they're dropping that name Etherion. So in this case, I'm not sure what Etherion is at this point. Is it like a suit that Rebecca could put on that she can maybe wield at some point? I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens later with that. Anyways, using the Leaper ability, Rebecca's able to get past Sylph and get into the little side entrance into the fortress. Unfortunately, Sylph was using her wind abilities to kind of catch up as well, and she catches Rebecca off guard and is able to capture her inside this little ball of wind. So we're going to see what happens with that in the next chapter. Chapter 77, The Winds That Bind, and I guess it looks like Hermit's just kind of hanging out here. I don't know if it's maybe just like gravity, maybe they just turn off the gravity of the ship. She's kind of just floating off there while playing her games. So now we have Rebecca inside this ball of wind, and she just can't get out of it no matter what she does. She tries to shoot it, she tries to use her ether gear ability, nothing seems to work, and she can't really communicate with anybody either. It's not until a Hermit gives the coordinates to Pino, telling them that something happened to Rebecca and the medicine is on board. And so it's up to the gang to go find Rebecca and see what happens. So Shiki, Pino, and Homura were able to make it over to the coordinates where the medicine is at, and even Homura has the medicine now in her hands and she's ready to bring it back to Weiss. Unfortunately, nothing is ever that easy. Sylph is here. She was kind of just lurking in the background, waiting for them to show up, and now she's trying to attack them. And Shiki is trying to do this thing where he wants to be the one to fight this person and give Homura time to just go, because it's very important to get that medicine to Weiss as soon as possible. So Homura tries to get away as soon as possible. Shiki is here holding his own, and we actually get this huge interruption during the middle of the fight. It turns out that Jin himself just came out of nowhere, and Jin is one of those enemies that we saw earlier on in the series. And it turns out that this person, Sylph, is actually Clean, which is supposed to be Jin's sister. And I think in the earlier volumes, the motivations behind Jin's actions had something to do with his sister. I'm going to have to go back to see what exactly he said, because I can't remember off the top of my head what he was talking about. But regardless, now he is here side by side with his sister Clean, aka Sylph. And I'm not sure if Jin was here this whole time and he kind of just bided his time too to see who was showing up, or if he just happens to show up in the middle of this fight coincidentally, and now this is his first time seeing Clean after a long time. But we're going to see what happens with that later, because now we're going back to Rebecca and Happy, and Rebecca finds herself waking up in the middle of this huge bed, this very fancy looking room. She doesn't know exactly where she is and what she's doing here, but it probably had something to do with Sylph kind of dragging her way over here, while meanwhile Shiki and Homura and Pino were trying to figure out where she was. And it turns out that Rebecca's actually in the same room as Draken Joe. Draken Joe, I don't know what his plan is, but he is here buck naked in this bathtub with his little rubber ducky, and he's just staring at Rebecca, and apparently he just wants to have a chat with her. And I have no idea where this story is going to go next, so I can't wait to see what the next volume holds for us. Post your comments down below, and if you like this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe. We will be continuing on to the next volume very soon. With that being said, I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.